Yeah, buddy, given the way yesterday started for you, especially, what does it mean to walk out of here with a series win?
Well, I think it shows a lot about this team and the resiliency. Went back after being down 10-0 in the first game of the doubleheader, down 6-2 in the last inning, and then winning that game, and then coming out today and hanging on. Right, I thought we really played well. There was, maybe the ninth inning wasn't the prettiest, both on the mound, but we got it done. A win's a win, but Daniels showed a little mettle there at the end after the 2 walks, got the 2 strikeouts, and then got the soft grounder, and Trevor made a great play in the game. So again, I think the resiliency of the group showed. These last 3 games summed it up. Guys were ready to play today, and John did a great job.
And the other thing, I just wanted to ask about that 4th inning where, kind of like last night, you got the hits, but 4th inning today, you got the big hits, but also some very patient at-bats with Adams, McMahon, and Trejo getting walks. What does that say about stringing, at-bats together?
Right, that's progress. I think that is something that we've talked about as a group offensively, is the getting on base component, the walk component. And when pitchers are trying to get you to expand the zone, especially with guys in scoring position, it's going to help long term if we do what we did today, take the walk. And like you mentioned, Mac, Adams, Trejo. When you keep putting runners on base, it's going to come back to haunt you. And we saw that today.
Thank you very much, buddy.
Go to Kyle Newman. Go ahead, Kyle.
Hey, buddy. Back to Daniel Bard. I know, obviously, like you mentioned, got out of trouble there. I mean, what'd you like about him just kind of bearing down, especially after that Nunez there?
Well, his stuff's fine, Kyle. He's throwing the ball with velocity. The breaking ball is sharp. His command is off. I think, we got to get to that point where, he's pounding the strike zone. He's trying. He's just a little bit off. We'll go to the drawing board a little bit here and try to figure that out. But, he's got closer stuff. He's got closer mentality. He's calm. He just, he couldn't get the ball in the zone to Crawford. Flores had a good at-bat. And then from there, he made some pitches, which a closer has to do. I'm telling you, the 9th inning is different than any other inning. I wish I could explain it, but I think, those of us who've been in the game and you who have watched the game a long time realize that the 9th inning is a different animal. So, but Daniel got it done, but we got to get to the drawing board a little bit and tighten up that command.
Thanks, buddy.
Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, buddy. John Gray is pitching really well this year for the most part. He had been using the changeup quite a bit earlier. Today was a lot of fastball sliders, which is kind of his bread and butter. Is he just rolling with what he needs to do on that day?
I don't. Nick. He punched out Longoria with a changeup. He threw some changeups to Crawford that last at bat also. He threw a couple curveballs. I still think the 4-pitch mix is something that, the team's got to honor. The opposition hitters have to honor the 4-pitch mix. You're right. It was heavy slider today for sure. Threw some good fastballs, but it was probably more what we've seen John in previous years with the heavy use of the slider. But moving forward, I know that the plan is to incorporate more curveballs, more slider, more change-ups, into, basically a 100-pitch game. And John's feeling more confident and comfortable with it. So I think you'll see that moving forward. But I agree today is pretty, heavy slider usage today.
Gotcha. And real quick, I hate to do this to you post game on a getaway day, but we talked to Bill Schmidt after we talked to you today. He said that he talked to you really early on after his assignment. What have your interactions been like with him, and are you still getting on the same page as far as the major league roster day-to-day kind of stuff?
Yeah, well, ever since he was announced, we've talked every day, and being here at home, we've talked multiple times, during the day, before the game, after the game. He'll be on the flight to St. Louis with us tonight. He'll be in St. Louis with us. I've known Billy for over 25 years, Nick. So we worked together in Cleveland. We did some scouting together. Obviously, we've been reunited here when I got this job. So I've known Billy a long time. The communication will be easy. We talk baseball. I think the interaction of Billy with the coaching staff, along with the other baseball ops guys, will be seamless. So he's a veteran baseball man. We gave him a long time. He's worn a couple different hats, mostly on the scouting side, but he knows the game. He knows our players. He scouted them. Most of our players he scouted. And he knows a lot of players in the league because he scouted those guys too. They just happen to be drafted by other teams. So, I'm excited for Billy. He's excited to be in this position. And, we'll see where it goes. But, he's, within the first few days here, it's been, a lot of communication, I'm sure. Not that I've even seen with, the other baseball guys upstairs and with our coaches that, maybe I've missed because I'm maybe doing other things. But he's been visible. He's been down here. He's been around. He's catching up. Obviously, he's been out scouting players, amateur players. And I'm sure he'll continue to do that prior to the draft, like all general managers mostly do. So, I think right now it's a good fit.
Awesome. Thank you, buddy.
You got it, Nick.
Go ahead, Tracy.
Buddy, given what Bart has been through the last week or so, how important was the third out in the ninth inning?
That was big, Trace. I think that, anytime for a closer, because the game's on the line, it's a lot of times it's do or die. And you got to bear that responsibility. And if you're the guy that is out there most of the time, it's a heavy load. It really is. And only, and this, so there's only certain guys who can handle it. That was big for him. Coming off, what happened in Arizona and, what's happened a couple of times this year. But, we have a lot of faith in Daniel. I think, again, where he is in his career, what he's been through, he has this in perspective, but he's competitive. I mean, he's not happy. I mean, he's happy we got the win, no doubt, and he closed it out. But, the not being real clean, that bothered him.
Because it seems like over the years, the one thing that differentiates closers from other players is the confidence they have in themselves and the lack of fear. So that stability kind of enters into that, right?
Yeah, no doubt. I've been fortunate to be around some great ones, some Hall of Famers. So it takes a special guy, and to handle that responsibility. And like I said, I think where Daniel is and what he's been through, he's very capable of handling that heavy load.
Thank you.
Yep.
Last two, we'll go to Ed and then Noah. Go ahead, Ed.
Hey, buddy, congratulations on winning this series. One of the things that I've observed, especially today, seems like you guys are really focused now on, avoiding walks. The pitchers seem to be a little more effective. You're making improvement there. Is that something that you're seeing as well?
Well, we're talking about it, Ed. It's progress for sure. We've, I think, the Mac at bat, I think, typified what we're trying to do. Mac's been a little bit aggressive, this first month of the season. The walks were down, but now you're seeing the walks creep up with Mac. Mac has, for me, good strike zone awareness and plate discipline, and he's combining that with being aggressive. But there are times when you have to take your walk when they're given to you. You can't expand the zone, especially, when you have a rally going. So I think that typified what we're trying to get to. Adams is a veteran player. He's been there. That was a good walk. That was a 3-2 walk with, probably a 9-pitch at bat. Trail was a 4-pitch walk, but I think we've seen that the last couple of days. Overall, better at bats, taking the walk, and increasing our team on base percentage.
And buddy, just to kind of piggyback on what Tracy was just talking about with Daniel, today there was an extended use of the slider, and he was effective with it, but it just seemed like his feel for the fastball not there. When you're talking about his command issue, is it largely on the fastball that you're speaking of?
It's a little bit of both. The last 3 pitches he threw to Ruff were fastballs. Last out of the game was a fastball. The two punch outs, Casale was a check swing slider. Duggar was breaking ball looking. We got to get a handle on the fastball, though. I agree. It's got great movement to it, even at the high velocity. We got to harness that a little bit.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good trip.
Go ahead, Noah.
Hey, Bud. 2 things. One, with the bunt in the 8th inning from Don Nunez, was that
Yeah.
called from the dugout, or did
Yes.
he do that himself?
I thought left on left, Noah. Dom's had a little bit of a tough time with lefties. I know he hit the 1 home run against David Price. I think other than that, he was 1 for 9 with 5 strikeouts. So I thought the play was to get guys in scoring position. I trust Dom to get it down. Berringer just threw a high fastball, at the top of the zone, and Dom couldn't get it down. But, that was, every situation's unique. But yes, that was called from the bench.
And then lastly, for Charlie Blackmon here in the last 9 games, he's hitting .313, and obviously he had a couple of hits today in the home run to end the game last night. Particularly today, though, what did you see in his at bats where he's starting to turn the corner? At least
I think it's just barreling some balls. I think he's on time. We've talked about that the last few weeks with Charlie. Being on the fastball and also he's on the breaking ball last night, and today hit a couple fastballs. I thought the big hit obviously was the bases loaded, shot up the middle on a fastball. He scored up a fastball, on the line out to second. Line out to Belt in the 2nd inning. He's just on time, so that's a good thing for all hitters to be on time.
Thanks very much.
Okay, guys.
Thanks for your time.